the center of creation. I am a seed planted in stillness. I am the center of creation. Fertile ground for the highest thoughts of God. I am the center of creation. I am a tree.
We have Glenn Hoover in the house today. So glad you're with us. So grateful that we have this amazing band today led by Adrian. So grateful. Thank you. The New Thought Messengers, can we just hear for this amazing band? I am Shannon O'Hurley. My pronouns are she, her, and I am so very grateful to be the senior minister here at the New Thought Center for Spiritual Living. If you are joining us for the very first time, you are in good company. I tell you, there is so much love in this space. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We are an inclusive, progressive, compassionate, spiritual community. We are dedicated to doing our own work in the world and then walking that out to help make this world a better place. So if you are new or newish, if you are watching online for the first time, you're here for the first time, or maybe the third time, maybe the 30th time, know that you are so deeply welcome in this place. We have mindfully and thoughtfully created this safe, nurturing space for you exactly as you are this day. Just know all are so welcome here with the most open heart. Today is a special day for our beloveds. We have a satellite community in Colorado, NTCSL Colorado, and they are meeting in person. So we love you, Colorado. If you would all please turn around and say hello to everyone who's watching us from Colorado and all over the country and the world. We are just so grateful that you have chosen to be with us this day. We have a very, very special service today. You will notice it's our spiritual living room. Today, we're going to be having a very robust, beautiful, thoughtful conversation in response to so much of the questions that you have. So we're very, very excited about that. Shelley and I are looking forward to that in a bit. If you are new, please know we have all kinds of information for you on our lobby, out in our lobby here, and also on our welcome table. We have two beloveds that are at that table, and they will answer any questions you have. Those of you online, you can go to our website, newthoughtcsl.org. Oh my goodness, we're doing so many things, and so you will have all that information for you there. As we do every week here in Lake Oswego, we are on the ancestral land of the Kalapuya people. And we acknowledge their and affirm their indigenous history, experiences, and sovereignty. We also like to take a moment and with one voice share and anchor our time in our vision and our mission. Our vision, recognizing our oneness, we envision a world that works for everyone and all creation, and our mission, providing spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Those of you at home, if you have a candle handy, this would be the time to grab that candle for our spiritual practice we're going to do in just a moment. I want to acknowledge our online hosts today. They do such a beautiful job holding the space and taking care of everyone who's watching online. Carol Scott and practitioners Melissa K. Allen and Lori Nazarino. So grateful for you and all that you do for our online community. Those of us here in person, I'm going to do this in a minute myself. Silence your cell phones if you haven't yet done that. Take notes on the phone if you want. That's fabulous. But just if you would silence the cell phones, and those of you at home, if you would also silence your phone so you can really be fully present with us here today, that would be so wonderful, and we would appreciate it here in the space. I'm going to invite our beloved practitioner and ministerial intern, the one, the only, Shelley Walker, to come on up for our opening blessing.
Y'all are the only people I know who clap for prayer. All right. I'm going to invite each of us to settle in wherever you are in the world in this moment. Pull yourself back into your body with the next breath. And let's anchor ourselves in the truth of the one life, the one love, the living love that is everywhere present. with this very next breath to let everything else fall away in remembrance of the grace that is right here, right where we are. How good it is in this moment to recognize this power that goes by many names, this love that is so vast in its scope that it's incomprehensible and truly unnameable. But I know it, and I feel it, and it's right here, right where we are. And in this love and in this grace and in this power, I speak a word of such gratitude for New Thought Center for Spiritual Living, for this thing that is us, this worldwide, global community of love, of kindness, of spirit-led social action, of all of it, all of it, all of it. Knowing that this community is a place that remembers truth for ourselves and for each other, and that as we walk this truth into the world is made new. And so I'm so grateful for the leadership of Rev Shannon. I'm so incredibly grateful for our music, our tech team, our youth ministry, the greeters, the hospitality, all of it, all of it, all of it, in service of a love divine. And for this, I'm so profoundly grateful, and we simply allow it to be. Blessed be, and so it is. All right, we're going to stay in that. I'm just going to do a little jigsaw puzzle here. We're going to stay in that space of prayer and meditation as we sing this beautiful chant. If you're at home and you have your candle, this is a good time to light it in recognition of the one light that we all reflect. I'm going to invite you to stand as you're able. There's lyrics on your screens. There's lyrics on your screen at home. It's a really easy song to learn. Let yourself sing the truth about who and what you are this day.
Oh, let this great power wash through, wash through. Oh, let this great power wash through, wash through. I don't have to wonder what to say or what to do. Just let this great power wash through, wash through. Oh, let me see God's light in you, in you. Oh, let me see God's light in you, in you. I don't have to see the truth. Just let me see God's light in you, in you. Oh, let me take power, wash through, wash through. Oh, let this great power wash through, wash through. I don't have to wonder what to say or what to do. Just let this great power wash through, wash through. Oh, let this great power wash through, wash through. Oh, let this great power wash through, wash through. I don't have to wonder what to say or what to do. Just let this great power wash through,
So, we are a community that takes care of each other. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. And many of us right now are grieving for many different reasons. Those grieving here and those online, we are with you and we are your kindred spirits. So we're here to walk with you through this grief. Know that you are not alone. We are here to support you during this tender time. And so once a month, we do what we call our blessing for those in grief. And so if you are right now in active grief, possibly anticipatory grief, or you're mourning, or you're in bereavement, those of you here, those of you online, I invite you to just take a moment and turn within while the rest of us hold you during this time. So to those of us who are speaking this blessing, as always, we will repeat it 3 times. It'll be on your screen. And for those of you at home, it will also be on your screen. So let's all take an easy, nourishing breath in. Let us begin. You, beloved, are not alone in this. We are with you. We hold your grief with love, and we surround you in grace as you make your way through this tender time. You, beloved, are not alone in this. We are with you. We hold your grief with love, and we surround you in grace as you make your way through this tender time. You, beloved, are not alone in this. We are here with you. We hold your grief with love, and we surround you in grace as you make your way through this tender time. And so it is. Amen. Blessed be. Blessed be.
Good morning, everyone. It helps to have a microphone. Okay. The following is from the writing of the great author and educator Bell Hooks. By embracing a love ethic, we are creating a new and exclusive community. Love is an action, never simply a feeling. The moment we choose to love, we begin to move against oppression. And the moment we choose to love, we begin to move against oppression. I said that. The moment we choose to love, we begin to move towards freedom, to act in ways that are liberating ourselves and others. When we choose to love, we choose to move against fear, against alienation and separation. The choice to love is a choice to connect, to find ourselves in the other. Love can bridge the gaps that we believe keep us apart. And it is the ultimate act of courage. And so it is.
Thank you, Laura. Please welcome Glenn Hoover.
Imagine there's no heaven It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill nor die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the whole wide world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. Brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Oh, someday you'll join us, and the whole wide world will live as one. Oh, someday you'll join us, and the whole wide world will live as one.
That song is a prayer. Isn't that song a prayer?
Yes.
That is a prayer set to music. And Glenn, you just gave us such a beautiful prayer of hope. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Well, hello again. I'm going to put this here because it's easier for me. Can you all see me? And you can hear me? Because I got a lot to say.
Yes, she does.
All right. All right. So, I want to first just say thank you. Last week, for those of you who are here for the first time, last Sunday, we had cards in everyone's front seat pocket, and I asked them to write out their feelings. I asked you all to write out your feelings and your questions, and those of you online to put those in the chat box or to email them. And I have to tell you, Sunday afternoon, I was at my dining room table, and I was having a cup of tea, and I just was moved to tears. not only by the love in this room, the love in our collective beloved community online, but the care and the compassion of you all. This is a very special community. We're going to get into that. But I just wanted to thank you again for sharing with me your feelings and your questions. And we're going to do our best to address those today. And I thought, since it is February, and happy Black History Month, by the way. Happy Black History Month. And I can't think of a better teacher to bring into Black History Month, this month of February, Bell Hooks. Shelley and I have done a series on this book, all about love. And as I was reading your feelings and your questions, what came to me was her work on the love ethic. Mm-hmm. And so my intention is that everything we do moving forward comes from a love ethic. Everything we do, our conversation, that doesn't mean we can't get angry. That doesn't mean, but it just means that everything is going to come from the love ethic. So I want to just, for those, we do have a group of folks who only watch this part of our service. So I want to, for all of us, read again the beautiful piece that Laura read for us. Thank you again, dear heart. And it teaches what a love ethic is from Bell Hooks. She wrote, we are going to approach, that's what I've said. We're going to approach this conversation.
Mm-hmm. She would probably say that.
She would. I know she would. It's just us. I was like, there's my note there, bullet point. Okay, go to reading. Here we are. Da, da, da. All right. It really is just us, right? Okay. By embracing a love ethic, we are creating an inclusive community. Love is an action, never simply a feeling. The moment we choose to love, we begin to move against oppression. The moment we choose to love, we begin to move towards freedom, to act in ways that liberate ourselves and others. When we choose to love, we choose to move against fear, against alienation and separation. The choice to love is a choice to connect, to find ourselves in the other. Love can bridge the gaps that we believe keep us apart, and that is the ultimate act of courage. So we're going to courageously love our way through the next 4 years together. Yes? Okay, very good. Oh.
And beyond.
Always.
I called Rev Shannon a couple of weeks ago because I was having a hard time accessing that love. Maybe you can relate. I was in so much grief and in so much fear and in so much there was an element of shame in there that we had let it come to this. There was just so much. So I picked up the phone and I called the brilliant one. And we started having a conversation. And at one point I said, we need to have this conversation in public. Mm-hmm. And that's what today is about. This is a conversation about all of our questions, the questions that we've been asking, and how we approach it from truth, yes, from grace, from love, even when it's hard to access. Yeah. So last week when you filled out your cards, I was just in tears when she showed me. And there were some overwhelming arcs of similarity in all of our questions. So one of the biggest questions that y'all have and that I have is this. So many of us wrote about feeling fear. Questions like, how do I tolerate this feeling of fear and instability? We heard, what is my purpose in all of this? And how can I be less afraid? We heard, how can I get out of fear so that I can be a blessing to others? So what do we do about this fear, Reverend Shannon?
Oh, right. Okay. So I want to answer these questions with spiritual principles and spiritual tools to help us. Does that sound good? So in thinking about this, the very first thing, when we feel fear, I don't know about you, but when I have the emotion of fear that comes up, it almost feels like, it reminds me of it feels inflamed, like something gets inflamed really quick. Something is ignited really quickly. And it reminded me, when you're kids and you learn, if there's a fire, stop, drop, and roll. So I thought, when fear gets ignited within us, we can stop, drop in, and take a deep breath. So let's just do that for a moment. I promise that there's more. Just because it's easy to continue scrolling and the fear starts building, to continue the inflamed conversation or the online, it's awful, it's awful, it's awful, it's awful. Stop. Take a breath. So we stop, we drop in, we take a breath. And then the next thing I'm going to suggest, so you stop it in its tracks, you name it. I'm feeling fear right now, so I need to stop. I need to drop in. I need to take a breath. And the next moment, I want to give us some ancient wisdom and new thought wisdom from the Buddhists. They're very good at handling fear and discomfort. And there's a teaching when you feel fear in the Buddhist teaching, and that is you simply, on the breath, may all beings know peace. May all beings know peace. Or perhaps you might want to say, may all beings be free from suffering. That includes you. May all beings be free from suffering. There's something that softens immediately that fear because you're being proactive in that moment. The new thought version of that would be the affirmation, love is right where I am, love is in this situation. Love is right where they are, love is in that situation. So you can choose, you can go back and forth. I use all the above. May all beings know peace. May all beings be free from suffering. Love is within me, love is right where that situation is. Stop, drop in, turn within, take a breath. And you can say it silently or out loud, or to your TV, to the news. May all beings know peace. May all beings know peace. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be free from suffering. I affirm that love is right where I am and right where they are. I affirm that love is right where I am and right in that situation. So that's my go-to when I get afraid. Yeah. And I think sometimes we forget that we have the power to navigate our fear. Sometimes we forget that that we don't have. We're just sort of. There was a lot of sentiment in the cards that there was hopelessness and despair, and I invite you to just, if you can, anchor in and remember that the divine is right where you are, and therefore you have the spiritual power to get through that moment, that thought, whatever that may be. The brilliant Alice Walker wrote, "The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any." The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. And I want to remind every one of you, all of you beloveds online, those of you at NTCSL Colorado that are gathering today in person, every single one of us has that divinity within us, that divine power to move through the fear so that we can get to the other side of it, so that we can be part of the solution. Yeah.
I think that there's also a piece in knowing who our people are.
Oh.
One of the things I've been educating myself in the last couple of weeks is how community is what will help us through this.
Yes.
And so talk about how we're going to build community here, Reverend Shannon.
So excited. This is my jam, y'all. So
It is.
So another huge part of of doing our best to move out of fear, because fear will happen, the fearful feelings will come. We're human beings and we're deeply empathic, feeling, spiritual beings. And so one of the beautiful ways that we can address all of this is remembering that there is safety in numbers. Mm-hmm. That's like our DNA, ancient brains know this. There's safety in numbers. And I believe in my soul that part of all of this, part of the piece of all of this, is we are going to be called to build community that is healthy and nurturing and welcoming and inclusive and safe. We are going to be called to join together in so many ways. And, I was having a conversation with a person that I just adore. And we were talking about this, and she let me know that in the neighborhood that she used to live in, let me preface this by saying, I don't know about you all, but I grew up in a neighborhood where, like, my mom would say to me, "Oh, I'm out of sugar. Would you go grab a cup of sugar? Ask the neighbor for a cup of sugar." Or, "Wait, I need salt. Can you get an egg?" And my neighbors, they didn't care about who we voted for. They just gave me the sugar. They gave me the egg. They gave me the salt, whatever we needed. It was community. It was community. Now, this is yes, it's a different time, and we can do something about it. So this dear heart that I was talking to let me know that there was a time in her life where she lived in a community that, like, if someone's house needed to be painted, they all painted it. If someone's kid, they didn't know it was, they all knew, helped each other raise their kids, the good and the tricky, and it was a tight-knit, beautiful neighborhood. And I thought, that's what I want here. That's what I want for all of us here, that feeling of safety in numbers, that feeling of knowing who your kindred spirits are, like-minded people who we're all on this journey, on this path together. And so what we're going to do is we are going to create and this is very like post-COVID. I think we're ready now. We've been doing repeopling long enough, and I think given the state of affairs, I think we're definitely ready for this. But the idea is that we're going to have a New Thought Center for Spiritual Living community directory, where we're going to know, like, if let's say one of you is an incredibly skilled worker, fill in the blank, whatever it is you may do, or you are a teacher, or you are great with spreadsheets, or all the things, or you're a wonderful seamstress, you sew, or whatever it is that is your gift that you do, we want to know about it, because believe you me, next year, if we need a plumber, or I want to call you, we want to call you, and have this deep sense of community. If you're an attorney or a therapist, or you specialize in something, or you're just really great at baking cookies and pies, and whatever it is. So we have a sign-up sheet outside in the lobby, and also online. I'm going to invite those of you in the chat box to put it in the chat box if you would, or you can email at office@newthoughtcsl.org. We're going to create a community directory of kindred spirits, and we're all going to participate. Doesn't that sound fun?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, right. Yeah. Yes. We're going to pool our resources as we move forward in the years to come, so that we're building community in an even more tangible, beautiful way. And that will help us stay out of fear, because we've got our people and we know who our people are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You said something about safety in numbers, but there's also like just safety in knowing who your people are.
Oh my goodness.
And like knowing that my kids are safe with you is everything to me. So thank you for that. A follow-up to fear, because fear is in the present moment. There's also been a lot of dread and doom in my household. Yeah. I don't know about you. But we also got a lot of cards about what to do about this feeling of doom. For me, I can personally say that for the last 2 weeks, I have felt like I've been moving through mud, that this life is really heavy right now, and it's hard.
Yes.
What do we do about that?
Yes. So I am, even as the older I get, the more that I am convinced that wherever, however, in whatever way we can choose joy, that is a powerful spiritual practice, y'all. It's a powerful spiritual practice. So, if it means, consciously watching something funny, consciously, I love an awe walk, and I've talked about awe walks, where even if it's like 10 minutes, and I'm gonna walk around my neighborhood, and I'm gonna consciously name all the beauty I see. Pretty soon, I'm telling you, it softens the edges, and it reminds you of beauty. Another thing I have been doing, and I've been doing this every morning now for a long time, because I read from a couple of different brain scientists, neuroscientists, that one of the best things you can do, okay, so, but right before you wake up, so your eyes are opening, your feet haven't hit the ground, okay? If you can raise your hands above your head and just say, yes, yes, yes. This is gonna be a good day, yes. I'm gonna attract joy in my life, beauty in my life, goodness in my life. I'm gonna see the love in my life, yes. I promise you will have a better day. I lived experience. And so then, yes, that's it. Let's all do it. Ready? Yes. You at home, join us one more time. Yes. One more time, and yes. I swear to you. And then, you're walking I'm walking to the bathroom, the restroom, and I'm like, yes, it's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good, and sometimes it feels like if there's hard things happening, I've had mornings where I'm like, okay, God, yes. But here's what I want you to know. Do it until you believe it. Because the brain, what the neuroscientists teach us is the brain doesn't know the difference.
That's true.
So if you are having a hard time, and I want to say, if someone is here or online and you are in, a deep depression, listen, please see a therapist. Please, we do not do any spiritual bypass. I want to be really, really clear about that. And if it's that feeling of doom or feeling of dread, if you can, yes, and this is going to be a good day, your way out of that feeling, it's going to serve you all day.
Something I read this week that really hit home for me is that sometimes getting to neutral is a step on the way to thriving.
Yes.
And some of us might not be in the yes place yet.
Right.
And that's okay. That is okay. As Reverend Shannon said, we don't do bypass.
No.
I also read this week a poet, and I wish that I had their name in front of me, but I don't. But it has lived in me. She said, the grief felt overwhelming and heavy, and I couldn't shift it. And I tried, and I couldn't shift it until finally I realized I could wrap it around my heart like a blanket and make a cup of tea. Sometimes a blanket and a tea is all we can do.
Yep.
Self-care is self-care, y'all. Whatever level you can meet yourself at, that's where we meet ourselves.
That's it.
And we use these tools to get to neutral and then to thrive.
Yes.
We don't have to pretend that we're thriving when we're not. We use these tools. These are just tools to get us to a place where we can do our work for ourselves and for the world. So wherever you're at, it's great. And I cannot wait to shock my husband tomorrow morning. Yes.
Good.
Okay, here's another question that came up quite a bit. Why does it appear that love did not win this election? Where it feels like hate won. And then another question was, where is this energy coming from and where is it taking us? I thought we were heading towards enlightenment. So why did it happen this way? I said to Reverend Shannon, if we're supposed to be moving towards a more loving and inclusive world, if, as Dr. King said, love will have the final word, then why does it feel sometimes that we're moving away from love and not towards it?
Yes. Yeah. So this is a question that I'm getting a lot. And, I really, really understand. Not only questions sort of from the cards, but also from the students in my class, the mystical path class, and in the hallways, and why? I want to be really clear about something, because we human beings can tend to just want to have the answer. We have a tricky time with the mystery of life, don't we? And God, spirit, source, whatever word you're comfortable with, oftentimes lives in the mystery of the thing. And we understand it later. We understand it when we're able to look back. This is an incredibly complex situation. And please, please beware of any sort of pat, pseudo-spiritual answer. If someone says, well, it's because of this, please run the other direction. This is an incredibly, incredibly layered question and an incredibly layered answer. So why did this happen? Why is our government the way it is right now? I want to give you, first of all, some facts that are important. So 30.84% of people in the United States voted for Harris. 31.78% voted for Trump. 1.6 voted third party, and 36.33% did not vote. That is important, because moving forward, we have an opportunity to open our hearts, to listen, to understand how that 36% was missed. Where do we have an opportunity to learn, to understand, to reach out? That's really, really key. So that's just the numbers that are really important, I think, to start the conversation. Then we move into this place of one of the most powerful answers to that question, I think, is the spiritual answer. I don't know, but I know spirit within us does, and it will be revealed. That's the deep, deep work. And in that's the mystery, being able to claim that and say, yes, there's facts, and there's also other very deep spiritual reasons. I believe there's some very deep, sacred, and holy work that we have, that we get to understand. But also, there's great power in saying, I don't know, because when we say, I don't know, we're speaking to the 36.33% of the people who did. I don't know why they didn't vote. I want to understand that, and we're going to do that collectively, over the next couple of years. Shelley shared something that I think is really germane to this conversation. Would you share with me what you said to Michael?
2 weeks before this election, I said to Michael that if we elect a Black Asian woman, it will allow a certain segment of people to say, see, we are now post-racist. You can stop now. Just go away. Because we have a lot of work to do. And in the last month or so, I would say, we now have been shown to ourselves, this is who America is. Okay, this is our country. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? There is a great power in seeing where the work is. Until we can be conscious and aware of where the work is, we can pretend it's not there and it's comfy that way. I am deeply uncomfortable right now. I'm deeply uncomfortable right now. But I see where the work is, and there's power in that, and we can be empowered in that.
And the difference between that answer and it was meant to be is the difference between healing our nation and going another 250 years with it being unhealed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So I think one of the things just to keep in mind is that love, keeping in mind with this love ethic, is that love always wins through us. So while it feels like love didn't win, that's because we're not done yet.
That's right.
That's all.
That's right.
That's all, because love will always win. Love will always have the final word. And love wins through us. Speaking of loving, last week I talked about speaking loving truth to power. And I want to give you a resource, if you don't already know, how we live our values out in the world, something that's very, very important and tangible that we can do as a community. And that is to, every person in America has 2 senators and 1 representative, okay, that really, really want to hear what we have to say. And not only that, but we influence how legislation, how they vote, all of those things, because we are their constituents, and they know they will not be voted in again if we do not do if they do not do what we want. Yeah. So this is, never underestimate the power of speaking truth to power to your representatives. So John, would you throw up that graphic? Love. Okay. So this is just a super how-to, okay? So if you are not aware of who your senators and representative are, it's simple. Go to usa.gov, type in the search bar, find my elected officials. Then you have their names. You can take a picture of this. That's a great way to do it. We'll also put it on our website. Then please call the U.S. Capitol Switchboard, 202-224-3121. 202-224-3121. And let me tell you something. The very first time I called the U.S. switchboard, I was a brand new organizer, community organizer in Colorado, and my hand was shaking. Because I was like, I'm calling the White House. I'm calling Congress. I'm calling Washington, D.C. I promise, it is not. So typically you'll get the switchboard or you'll get a recording. And you can let your representatives know how you feel. I do not believe there are only 2 genders, thank you very much. Please vote accordingly. I am not in agreement with mass deportations. Please take care of that, Representative. Now listen, here I will never, ever, ever speak about how I feel you should vote, because I believe in the separation of church and state. And I also believe that it is our holy and sacred work as people of faith to live our values out in the world by making our voices known and our actions known, okay? So you call your representatives and you let them know, and ideally, 3 times a day. Take it away.
So what the activists are saying, and this actually comes from a former congressional staffer, call your representative, make 9 phone calls a day. They take about 45 seconds each. Call those 3 people 3 times a day. Ask for, you don't have to know their name, ask for, if you're calling about, say, health care for disabled people, call your congressperson and say, I'd like to leave a message or speak with the staffer who is working on health care. You don't have to know their name. And you can leave a message with that person directly. Or sometimes you'll get put through and you'll be able to speak with them. Whatever your issue is, immigration, healthcare, whatever the issue is, just ask for the staffer in charge of that issue. And your voice will be even more clear in the noise that they're coming. But what happens is every single morning, every senator and congressperson gets a list of the number of phone calls they've received in the top 3 issues that are being called about. So make your voice heard. Speak truth to power, as Reverend Shannon taught us last week.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alarm on my phone.
It's a great idea.
3 times a day. And I'm just going to go right in, 202-224-3121. And more times than not, you get voicemail, just so you know. But this is truth to power. This is something you can tangibly do. It literally takes less than a minute. If the switchboard answers, you just say, please put me through to, whoever your senator is, who you want, and just leave a message. This is what's important to me. Because there were so many of you who asked what I can do. This is one thing. It's the simplest thing, and it's one of the most impactful and effective things you can do.
That's right. That's right. The short answer, we're going to have a lot to say about this over the coming weeks.
Yes.
Especially as we're doing this month on love. So the short answer, Reverend Shannon, so many people ask various versions of what can I do about my Trump-loving family, friends, neighbors world? What do I do?
Yeah. Okay. Here is my suggestion. Find one thing that you love about them and focus on that thing. And right now, that thing only. Because there's so much overwhelm, there's so much going on. If they're open to a conversation, that's a whole other thing. But if they really voted in a way that was completely opposite from you, the ideology is completely different, find something you love. I want to give you an example. My beloved Uncle Gary, who has now made his transition, and I checked in with him this morning, sort of in spirit, and I was like, is it okay that I share this, buddy? He's like, yeah, okay, because it's beautiful. He is an incredible, wonderful, glorious human being who voted in ways that I cannot understand. And many years ago, I want to say, maybe 10 years ago, we were at a family reunion. And so it was kind of before all of this mishigas right now, right? We were at a family reunion, and he was talking to me. We were having a conversation, and I knew his political leanings, and I was just sort of steering clear of that. And we were having a conversation, and he was talking about his life. And I learned in the conversation that this man who voted in ways in all of the elections that I cannot understand had a weekly spiritual practice of, he had a prison ministry. He was very, very, very Catholic, and he would go to the prison once a week, and he would sit with the men there, and he would support them, and he told me about it, and I thought, I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea. And, he's very Catholic, and I'm a minister in our tradition, and, he had a lot of questions for me, which I would artfully try to dodge, because it just would not end well. And so I'm trying to dodge, and then I'm like, wait a minute, you have a prison ministry? You have a prison ministry? You have a prison ministry? And he was like, yes. And it taught me so much in that moment. Find something about your friends, your families, your neighbors who voted in ways that you don't understand. Find something you love and ground yourself in that. That will create the opening. And that, because trying to understand it, we're not there yet. I think we will get there, but right now, find something about them you love. Let that ground you so that you can at least stay. Yeah.
I read last year about isn't it worth it to acknowledge that the other person deserves life just as much as you do?
Yes,
and if that's the only place we can meet them at, great. Let's meet them there.
Because there's so much good. It's that it's that beautiful, Anne Frank quote, despite everything, I believe that people are truly good. Yeah. And that's the truth. That's the spiritual truth.
Yeah.
That's the spiritual truth. Yeah.
We have so much we could say about this, but and we will over the coming weeks. Yes. But I think the most important question, the most important thing, many in our community asked, how am I going to get through 4 years of this guy? Or how can I help to make a change towards good and love in our world? How can I make an individual difference to bring joy and peace and compassion? People asked, how can I show up to support in the best and most effective way? What is mine to do? How can I know what's mine to do in all of this?
Yes. there was so many people who asked in some version or another, what is mine to do? How can I support? How can I help? What can I do? So the first thing about the whole 4 years thing is I invite you to let that go. This is a 1 day at a time or 1 month at a time. I'm thinking of it as like 1 quarter at a time, you know? And that's the first thing. Take it in small chunks. That would be my first suggestion for you. And if you start going down the rabbit hole of 4 years, stop. It's just for now. Just for now. How are we going to get through this together? We are going to get through this together. Not only standing with each other, supporting each other and others, but working together for the common good. Another theme that was in every card or every other card, almost all the cards, were some form of feeling of despair, hopelessness. This is a hopeless situation. So the greatest antidote to hopelessness is action. As long as you catch it in time. What they want is for us to be so overwhelmed with the shock and awe and the horror and everything that's going on and the human rights that are being taken away. They're trying to keep us in a state of hopelessness so we just go to sleep. That's what they want. That is not what is going to happen.
Nope.
Because communities just like ours, whether it's in a New Thought community or whether it's in a 12-step community or whether it's in a PTA community or whatever the community is, we are going to mobilize together and take action, recognizing that every action, every time you call the Congress switchboard, it's an antidote to hopelessness. Every time you take one action, you are replacing the hopelessness and the worry and the concern with the love ethic and moving forward. And so what we do here is something called Spirit-Led Social Action, and we are relaunching this post-COVID, our Spirit-Led Social Action teams. And what I did is I looked at all of the recent executive orders, and there were 4 areas that I see right now that are in the greatest need of our support. And there are others, but for right now, I would like for us to focus on these 4. It feels doable. And these are going to be our What Is Mine to Do teams. So would you be so kind, John, as to put up that graphic for us? What is mine to do? So these are going to be, one is going to be reimagined, and some are going to be expanded. So immigrant protection, what is mine to do team? We're going to have a team of people who feel called to support immigrants right now. We have all kinds of ways that we're going to do that as a sanctuary space. LGBTQIA plus and allies. This is hugely important. We're going to protect our non-binary and trans siblings. This is huge, huge. We're going to have a team that's going to be dedicated to that work. We're going to have diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. That is we are responding to this. We stand for DEIA. Thank you very much. That is who we are in this community: diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. And our caring corner. For those of you who are new, who don't know, in 2019 we started our first food pantry, and we have over here where we have the baby room over here. Those of you watching online, we have a whole area in this room here. It's a caring corner. It's a food pantry, but it also includes things like diapers and formula and toothbrushes, things that people need. And we are going to be expanding that. Right now we do once a month food pantry. We're going to do a weekly food pantry because please know, can you pull that back up, John, real quick? Sorry, I just want to show one more thing. Within these teams, there's cross-pollination. So for example, the food corner can help immigrants who may be food insecure because they don't feel safe to go to work. And so we're going to make sure that we can support them in that way. Or the unhoused LGBTQIA youth. So do you see how there's all this cross-pollination? I want to give you, now you can take that down. Thank you, John. I want to give you some just quick examples of what this might look like. These are teeny tiny little examples. So the immigrant support team, there's something called red cards. And what a red card is, it's a little bit smaller than an index card. And in Spanish, it has exactly what to do if someone is approached by ICE, exactly what their rights are and what to do. A field trip for that team and any others of us that want to join in that might be to go put those around, bus stops and places where we know that information is needed and that we could get that word out. This tiny little example. LGBTQIA and allies. I feel very, very strongly I want us to have a weekly teen support group for our LGBTQIA youth. Yes? For here and hybrid as well. We're gonna go to town with Pride this year. That's another thing. For DEIA, Jen Moore, a simple example might be a field trip to Costco, because Costco is standing for DEIA rights. We can all go. We can all go to Costco, and we might even want to bring food back for the Caring Corner pantry because we already support Blessings in a Backpack. We support Whitman Elementary School, which is in the 90th percentile of food insecurity. How about if we do Grace in a Grocery Bag, and we get food from Costco, and we support that way? So these are all examples, and I have been in meetings with all of our team leads for this. These new teams, and I want to introduce them to you so you know who's going to be the team lead for each one of these groups. I'm going to ask you to stand. For our immigrant support team, our leaders are Ellie Cole and Daniel Shaw. Turn around, they're going to be leading that team. For LGBTQIA plus allies, both of these practitioner leads are actually not here with us, but it's B. Westcott Curl and Deborah Bongard. Thank you very much. Our DEIA leader is Jen Moore, DEI educator. And our team lead for our Caring Corner expansion is practitioner student Sherry Lester. So please. So I also want you to know that those of you at home, those of you who don't live in this area, you are part of our community just as much as everyone is who is sitting here. And so, for example, we have like Tim in Arizona. I don't know if you're watching right now, Tim. We have, Carol in Mexico. I don't know if you're watching, Carol. Oh, you're facilitating. You're one of our online facilitators. So we have people all over. All of these teams are going to be hybrid. So each of these teams is going to be coming up with actions that they can do locally, and then those of you online will be doing activities locally as well. Do you see that? So this is a global community, and we're going to be doing that work globally. In front of you, in your seat pocket in front of you, if you're here in the room, there is a card. Would you hand that to me, Daniel? Thank you so much. That Daniel made for us. Thank you very much, Daniel. And this card, it's the What Is Mine to Do team. So those of you here in the room, you'll find this. It's got a spot for your name, email, phone number. Please print legibly. Please, please, please. And then the boxes, immigrant, whatever team. And I know there will be some of you that want to do more than one team. That's great. And just check that box, immigrant protection, LGBTQIA plus and allies, DEI and accessibility, Caring Corner, or food pantry. Please check what you might be interested in supporting. And then we're going to take it from there, and we're going to create our meeting times and all of that good stuff. And you're all going to know what we're going to be doing moving forward. We also have sign-ups outside in the lobby as well for you and downstairs. Those of you online, if you go to our landing page of our website, newthoughtcsl.org, it is literally right there. What is mine to do? NTCSL teams. Just click on the link below that. It'll lead you directly to a Breeze form, and you just put in the same information. I know that our NTCSL Colorado community is already so dedicated to social action, and I know that they're going to be doing things right along with us as well. So this is beyond just this room, beloveds. This is our global collective, and this is what is ours to do. Are you with me? Yeah. Thank you.
I also want to say, some of y'all ain't joiners. Some of you are going, I don't want to be on a team. Please don't make me be on a team. And I want to tell you that that is okay too. Every financial contribution that you make to this community is going in part to support this great work that we're doing, both here and around the country and around the world. So please know that your financial gift is so important at this time as well, just to help us to be able to do what is ours to do as a community. We couldn't do this. We couldn't provide these opportunities for you to serve if we didn't have your financial support as well.
Yes, so that's a great way to contribute. And also just know that whenever we have an activity, we will be announcing it from the platform, so you can all participate in it that way as well, if you choose. If you're not in a place where you can actually be on a team right now, know that we'll be bringing this all to you, and you can participate in it that way. So I want to thank you ahead of time. This is the time for community. This is the time to be together in this sweetness and in this nurturing environment, in this safe, loving environment. I want to share with you, I just want to close today with sharing, there's a woman by the name of Ella Baker. Ella Baker was born in 1903, and she was just an early activist. She worked and influenced Thurgood Marshall and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. She said, "Give light and people will find the way." Give light, and people will find the way. All of this work that we are going to be doing is within this love ethic. We're going to be giving light. Yeah. We're going to be sharing our light, providing and lighting the way for others. So with that, I would like for us to move into prayer and anchor this time. So I invite you to turn within. Those of you online, if you would as well, I'm going to invite the practitioners to come down forward and support Shelley and I as we're going to share our blessing, our prayer this day.
And so I invite each of us to turn within. In your body, there is a sacred space, a place where love resides, a place where your highest wisdom self knows what's up. In this moment, I invite each of us to tap into that place and allow it to speak. Allow this place to have its way in us and in our lives. Because this place, this sacred space within our very bodies, this space is divine. It is the place where love shows up. It is the place where truth resides. And so what I know for each of us is that this sacred space goes with us everywhere we go. That wherever we are, love is. Whatever feelings we're experiencing, whatever is happening out in the world, what I know is that there is a thing that is anchored to our life itself. And this thing will never abandon us. We can never lose it, but we can lose sight of it. And so for today and going forward through this week, what I claim and I know and I accept is that we are all anchored in love itself, in kindness, in compassion, in truth, in grace, and that all of it and that all of our lives are divinely directed.
And so it is from this place of divine direction within each one of us that I affirm that this same love surrounds all of our friends and family members, and friends that are family, that it surrounds them as a warm blanket, that it is supporting and uplifting them this day and this week, and that wherever there is any pain, difficulty, war, injustice, challenge, this same love is there too. May all beings be free of suffering. May all beings be at peace. This love surrounds and enfolds and supports and inspires and strengthens them too. And so in this moment, I just, on behalf of all of us, bless all people this week who gather in churches and spiritual centers, centers for spiritual living, and mosques and ashrams and temples and synagogues, and planning meetings and hikes and yoga mats and all the places where people gather their very kitchen tables, knowing that this love is at the center of all of them, affirming and knowing that this love is the most true thing about us and every sentient being, knowing that this love is on this side of life and the other side of life. This love buoys us, lifts us up, gives us strength, brings us together, brings us to an even greater understanding of our connection, that we are all stardust, that we are siblings, that we are members of this one human family, and that we let love within us lead the way. I give so much thanks for this knowing. I give so much thanks for this beloved community and the sacred, holy work that is before us, knowing it is God's work, it is love's work. And so from this place of grace and gratitude and immense thanks, I let it be. And so it is. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Amen. I love you. I love you. I
Can
love
we
you.
thank Reverend Shannon
Oh.
for putting all of this together for us this week?
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. I'm going to move this out of our
All right.
way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
That is deeply appreciated. Y'all, before we hear from the amazing Glenn Hoover, I could hear you two play guitar together just forever. Before we have one more song, I just wanted you to know that this is our time of conscious giving. And we don't sell ads on YouTube. We don't sell prayers. We don't sell passes to heaven. We are here solely. Maybe I can make a plan. We are here solely, the sole reason that we are here is because of the gifts that you and you online graciously give. And so I just want to thank you for that. Know that they're all received with such gratitude and love. And there are many ways you can give. You can give here in the room. Y'all in Colorado, you can give there in the room. I like to text to give, 503-966-3236. You set it up once, and then it just makes it really easy to give. But hi. Oh, and please take your cards that you filled out and put those in the basket. Yes.
When it comes around for those in the room. Thank you so much. Continue.
Thank you. Also, if you want to make a note on the back for our community resource directory, go ahead and do that. Put it in the basket as well. Also, just to complicate things, because we're not late enough today, y'all, everything that you give, we take a portion of that and we give it out to organizations that put feet to our values in the world. This is just some of the places that we gave last month. World Central Kitchen, my God, the work that they are doing in war-torn places in the world. Food banks, Immigrant Council, you name it, Refugee Support Group, you name it. If they are living our values in the world, we do our best to contribute back to them. So know that the good that you send through this ministry goes out into the world. Let's speak a word of blessing on these gifts, shall we? From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. All right, Glenn Hoover, lay one on us.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow. You won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can't carry, right up the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me, call me, call me, call me, somebody to lean on.
All right, y'all, I have three really quick announcements for you. This Wednesday, February 5th, for those of you here local, we have our blood drive from 1 to 6. You have to go to the American Red Cross website to make an appointment. Please do that. The world really needs blood right now. Number 2, we have some spots available in our Spiritual Growth Circle program. All of the information is on our website, newthoughtcsl.org. You can sign up for Spiritual Growth Circle there. If you have any questions about what a Spiritual Growth Circle is, find one of our practitioners in the white stoles and ask them. They can fill you in. And finally, save the date. We're having another Blessings in a Backpack food packing event, Sunday, February 16th after service. So that's going to Whitman Elementary. Really important. And as Reverend Shannon comes up, y'all make sure and sign up for your What Is Mine to Do teams.
Yes.
This is how we're going to put feet to our values.
Yes, yes, yes. I want to thank all of you who are here in person. I want to thank all of you online and TCSL Colorado. Thank you so very much for joining us. You co-created this whole conversation that we had. And if you are new, if this is the first time we've come, we don't usually do it this way. You'll see something different next week, but every once in a while, we want to answer your questions and be with you in this way. I want to once again thank our practitioner moderators, Melissa Kay and Lori Nazarino, and also Carol Scott. Thank you so very much. I'm going to invite the practitioners to come on down forward. They are going to be available to pray with you following service. All you do is share with them, this is on my heart, and they will take it from there. And we pray affirmatively in our community, and it's such a blessing. In addition to all of you who are here, I just want to let you know that we have folks right now watching us from Massachusetts, Nebraska, Colorado, all over Oregon, California, Germany, Mexico, Arizona, and Washington. Thank you so, so very much. And of course, there's always people who are watching us from other wonderful places around the country, but they're not in the chat box. So we love you too. We love you too. I'm going to invite you all to please stand as you are able. Laura, would you come on up with us, love, as we do our final blessing? I invite you, those here in person, once again, sign up. If you haven't signed up for your team, if you're called to that, please, I invite you to come downstairs, just right out the door and to the left downstairs. We've got coffee, we've got nosh, we've got a beautiful bookstore with gifts, all kinds of wonderful things. I will be in the hallway to say hello. Please say hi. I would love that. Thank you again to our welcome team members, Cindy Koski and Bonnie Duncan. They will be at the table and available to answer any of your questions. Also, don't forget our sign up for the community directory as well, if you didn't get a chance to put that on your card. Come here, you two beloveds. All right. May you go in the light, as the light, and with the light. Until we meet again, may the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you
on your way.
You are so loved. Have a good week.
I'll be released and I let go. I'm the spirit from my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm on.